stop what you're doing and think about this for a second. What would happen if your company was suddenly able to generate exponentially more quality sales leads? That would be incredible. What would happen if your company came up at the top or near the top of the Google search engine results?
Well, I would just feel overwhelmed with all that business.
How many thousands of dollars in lost sales or millions of dollars in lost sales are you missing out on simply because your potential customers can't find you when they go online to search for the products and services that you offer?
I refuse to think that thought because I don't want any more business.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrivetime Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, we are beginning the search engine conversation. Let's begin the search engine conversation. And Jason, before we get started on today's show, I'd like to ask you, why objectively, say you didn't work here, say you weren't a coach, say you hadn't worked for me at Elephant in the Room, say you just had no idea who I was, why do you think that knowing how search engines work is vitally important for everybody who owns a business or who wants to?
Well, because the vast majority of everybody who are your ideal and likely buyers, that's where they're doing their shopping, that's where they're doing their research is online. And if you don't understand anything with search engines, people can't find you.
What did you just say? People can't what?
They can't find you. You're invisible.
And this is what I would like to share with the listeners out there before we get into chapter 1 of the new book, Search Engine Domination, is it is absolutely not healthy. I mean healthy. It is not healthy for you to not know how search engines work. I'm going to put the statistics on the show notes today. I'll be very detailed on the show notes. You can find them at thrivetimeshow.com. But well over 90% of consumers buy products after reading a review. They read reviews before they buy something, and they begin the search for the thing on the internet. On the internet. Now, Jason, back to you. I'm going to have you read from chapter 1, my friend.
Yes, so chapter 1, Search Engine Domination. Everyone uses the internet, yet few know how to market effectively using it. According to research published by Pew Research in March of 2018, 77% of people now go online on a daily basis to find the answers, solutions, products, services, and connections they are looking for. However, from both our personal experience and having worked with thousands of people to help them increase their company's value by hundreds of millions of dollars, I have personally discovered that less than 1% of the clients that we have worked with knew how search engine optimization truly worked before we taught it to them.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Do you agree with that? Because you have clients you've worked with. Now you've been with me working with Elephant in the Room, and now with me doing the business coaching for about, 3 years, 3.5 years?
Going on 3.
It's going on 3 years. And I feel like I'm saying less than 1% of the clients have a familiarity with how the internet works previous to working with me. But do you agree with that, or do you think that it's more people know how it works? Or
I would say 1% is fair, because I thought I knew how the internet worked until I started working for just Elephant, and you taught me the importance of Google ranking. And then getting in and learning more about it with you and John, talking to my clients, I have similar conversations where they think they understand it. But when you start telling them about, keywords and SEO and all that, it blows their mind.
Let me share this with the listeners out there. This is what's dangerous. It's so dangerous. You got to watch yourself. Be dangerous. Is it that it's nothing's worse than thinking you know how it works.
Right.
That's dangerous.
That's scary.
Because what are some of the things that people say to you where you know they're wrong, but they think this is how Google works? Because yeah. I have known how Google works since 2001, probably. 2001, 2002. Since once I really invested the thousands of hours needed to learn how Google search engines work, But what kind of things do people say to you about how Google works that is maybe wrong, and then they just think that's how it works?
Well, one of the things that's been scary to me is the quote is so funny. I won't say who said it, but when people tell you that, well, actually, Google doesn't care about reviews. That doesn't help your website rank at all. Your reviews or you don't even have to have a business page in order for your website to show up on Google. That's a scary one.
Okay, another scary one I hear, and these are Google myths. One is they say only the big companies can be top.
True.
Only the big companies can win. Have you heard that before?
I have.
Okay. Another one would be is that Google reviews don't matter, right?
Oh, yeah.
You hear that all the time.
That one's very popular.
Another one is that it doesn't matter how much content I have. Have you heard that one?
Yes.
How often do you hear that one?
So much, because most people just don't want to do it. But at the same time, they've been told. So it's like a double-edged sword. You don't want to do it, but then people have also told you, oh, the content doesn't matter. You don't have to have 1,000 words. You don't have to have 500 words. They're just trying to get stuff out of you.
What about it doesn't matter if the content's original or not? Have you heard that?
Yes. And I will say that's one of the biggest myths that will get you very hurt in the long run.
So you mean if you hire a marketing company today to help you and then they actually copy content, are you saying that would hurt a business?
It would definitely hurt a business. Google knows everything.
What about people saying I can copy content but Google can't catch me?
I would say whoever told you that should be taken out in the streets and shot.
Okay.
They're very simple programs. I mean, you have found for your clients personally that that's happened.
Right. So let me read you a little statistic here from Business Insider. The article is titled, How Google Retains More Than 90% of the Market Share. Check this out, Thrive Nation. 90.8% of all humans use Google for searching for things. 90.8. Now, 4.3% of people choose to use YouTube, which is owned by Google. What? Yes, 4.3% are using YouTube, which is owned by Google. 1.3% of people are using the Google Maps. That means that more people are using YouTube to search than Yahoo and Amazon combined, friends. I'm just telling you, you've got to look at these statistics. I'm putting the links on the show notes. And if you want to know what books to read to vet what I'm saying, read Search Engine for Dummies by Bruce Clay. Search Engine for Dummies, a great book to read. If you want to learn how the internet works, check out that book, Search Engine for Dummies. Jason, please continue reading.
During the pages of this practical, action-oriented, and game-changing book, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take in order to begin generating leads and making money as a result of learning how to dominate search engine results.
Now, let's talk about that for a second. We have you can download the free ebook version of the Search Engine Domination book right now, the Kindle version. You can download that for free, 100% free right now by going to Amazon. Why would we do that?
Because people need to know this. It's important.
No. If it's so important, why don't they teach it at college?
I would have a hard time trying to answer that question. It doesn't make sense to me.
Why don't they teach it on the campuses of college if it's so important?
Well, because people make it this ethereal thing, but plus they don't want you to know how to do it because then that's how they beat you.
Okay. So anyway, for whatever reason, they don't teach this on college campuses. And why when you go to a marketing seminar will people only teach you a little bit about how it works? Just a little bit.
Because if you want that third and final step, you want to go ahead and come to the next conference because that's where the real magic is.
Where the real knowledge is. Okay, please continue reading.
So the next is a quote that actually backs up the article you were just reading. It says almost 90% of consumers said they read online reviews, which is funny because Google retains 90% of the market share.
Ooh, continue.
Search engines are used by a vast majority of people to find the products and services that they buy, yet very few people truly understand how search engines actually work. Search engines use electronic devices commonly referred to as spiders, robots, or bots to crawl and scan the vast internet in search of the most relevant content that they can display to search engine users. In order to do this, search engines index or catalog and sort the information that is publicly available on the internet.
Okay, let's get that right there. Let's make sure we're breaking this down. So when we say index, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Jason, but what do you think that means? And I don't expect you to be a search engine master. You do I would explain how the relationship our coaches have with our clients is this. Somebody has gone to the top of the mountain. They've made their way up to the top of the mountain. They have made a path, and now they have trained a Sherpa, a guide, to hold you accountable and to walk you down the path. I would describe what you do as a Sherpa. You lead people down the proven path. I don't expect you to know how we came up with the path or to I'm the inventor of the path. Z and I learned the path by running through the minefield of life and somehow making it to the end. And then now we've created a system that you can follow. But what does it mean in your mind to index the internet or to sort it?
So from my understanding and how I believe Google works from what I've read is when they're indexing, they're doing a deep dive and just culminating, downloading, searching through every source of material that has whatever topic that you type in. So like if you're on Google right now typing in something to search, they're going to try and find each and every bit of information and rank it based off of most helpful or most important to least relevant, but still has that information. So they're just kind of pulling all their resources to give you every little bit of information that pertains to what you searched.
Would you be offended if I actually read a notable quotable from Google itself? Would you be okay with that?
I'd be more than okay with that.
Okay. So, and by the way, do you think that Google is a credible source to learn how Google works?
I would say so.
Okay. This is what Google writes on google.com/search/how search works /crawling-indexing. I should put that on a shirt. So this is the fun notable quotable from Google. It says, before you search, web crawlers gather information from across hundreds of billions of web pages and organize it in the search index. The fundamentals of search. It says the crawling process begins with a list of web addresses from past crawls and sitemaps provided by website owners. Sitemaps, which means somebody should write that down. You got to have a .xml sitemap. What? You got to have a .xml sitemap. What does that mean? Listen to me, homies. Write it down. It doesn't matter what it means. Have a .xml sitemap. Have it on your site, and have an HTML sitemap. HTML is the sitemap hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. It's where you can see the sitemap. Go to a bottom of one of the sites I built. Go to scoreball.com right now. Scoreball.com and go to the bottom of it and click on the word sitemap, and you're going to see the HTML sitemap. There it is. Boom. Now, the XML, that's the sitemap you can't see, like X-ray. You can't see it, but Google can. And remember, X-ray, this is how I remember it. X-ray is like something you can't see without the machine. So you can't see the XML sitemap unless you're like in the machine. That's what Google sees, the XML. The HTML, that's what you humans can see. Like HTML, like humans can see. Humans can see the HTML. X, only the X-ray can see it. So again, the crawling process begins with a list of web addresses from past crawls and sitemaps provided by site owners. You know, Jason, remember that website I showed in the meeting a couple of weeks ago that the lady spent like, was it like $100,000?
It was over $100,000, but was quoted about 100,000 less.
I feel so bad, ma'am. If you're listening and that's you, I feel bad for you. I'm so sorry. But she spent over $100,000 paying a local Tulsa company to build her website for her,
right?
A huge firm. And you know that it didn't. Remember how I showed you guys it didn't have a sitemap on it?
Yeah, and you couldn't find it unless you put in the exact address.
Because it doesn't have a sitemap. That's like not having an address. Work with me, folks. If I wanted to mail you a letter, if you want to mail me a letter right now, you say, Clay, I hate your show. I'm going to mail you a letter right now. I hate your show. I freaking hate your show. I've always hated your show. I'm going to send you some hate mail. I'm going to send you some anthrax. Well, if you send me a hate mail, send the hate mail to 1100 Riverwalk Terrace in Jinx, Oklahoma. And Suite 100. Because it is sweet. Right? Or just Google search Thrivetime Show Jinx. But Jason, why do I have to have an address?
So people can find you.
Have you ever hired someone? Have we ever interviewed somebody before, and we interviewed them, and then after interviewing them, they said that they said, well, what address do you want to get your checks mailed to? And they said, I don't have one.
I haven't run into that yet, but I would be very confused if that
I will explain to you how often this happens. A lot. Probably once a month.
Okay.
And then I say, well, why not? And they say, well, I'm going through a transition. And you say, why not? What's going on? And then you find out there's like a drug thing. They're changing their name. They're hiding from the law, breaking the law, hiding from the law, breaking the law, So if you have a website that doesn't have an address, a sitemap, Google can't find you, babies. Come on now. You got to get that billboard to be seen. Don't build that beautiful billboard and put that in the woods. Don't put that in the woods.
Don't do it.
No. So again, the crawling process begins with a list of web addresses from past crawls and sitemaps provided by website owners. As our crawlers visit these websites, they use links on those sites to discover, wow, there's a new website. Wow. I'm quoting Google. It says, I'll quote Google using like a sock puppet using my hand. They use links on those sites to discover other pages. They have to have sitemaps. We got to do it. The software pays special attention to new sites, changes to existing sites, and dead links. Computer programs determine which sites to crawl, how often, and how many pages to fetch from each site. We offer Search Engine Console to give site owners granular choices about how Google crawls their site. They can provide detailed instructions about how to process pages on their sites. These are called call requests. Or they can opt out of crawling altogether using a file called robots.txt. So as an example, if I had a fabulous gallery of nude animal art, what? Like if I had photos of my cat, I have 13 cats. And if I had photos of my cats and I'm like, these cats are naked. I don't want anyone to find those web pages because they're nude.
Right.
Then I could make sure that I designate in the sitemap, don't crawl these pages. Don't find these pages. Or I could say, please crawl these pages. But by default, guess what, Jason?
What's that?
Most clients, when I first meet them,
Yeah.
their sites aren't even being crawled by Google. Meaning the only way someone could find it would be to go directly to your website. This is so important, okay? Let me read just a little more from Google, then we'll go back to the book. Organizing information by indexing. When crawlers find a web page, our systems render the content of the page just as a browser does. We take note of signals from keywords to website freshness and keep track of it all in the search index. Jason, I'm going to read this to you again. I'd like for you to break down what this means because this is powerful. We take note of key signals from keywords to website freshness, and we keep track of it all in the search engine index. What does it mean, freshness?
My understanding is you're uploading something constantly or you're making
Yes!
a tweak to it.
Yes, which means you're never done. It's called Kaizen. It's the Japanese concept of continual improvement.
Yeah, because they mentioned back in that last section you were reading about dead sites.
Wow. You mean I can't just pay a web guy to write content and stop? That's right.
True.
I don't want to brush my teeth again today. I did it yesterday. I take a shower. I did it last month.
I don't want to tell my wife I love her. I did that last year. I mean, you've got to anything that you have requires a responsibility. You've got to tend to the garden, baby. You can't just write content and leave it. Pastors, doctors, dentists, lawyers, listen to me. Again, when crawlers find a web page, our systems render the content of the page, just as a browser does. We take note of key signals from the keywords to the website freshness. Jason, back to you with the freshness.
In fact, here's an example of how Google works from Google itself. The software behind our search technology conducts a series of simultaneous calculations requiring only a fraction of a second. Traditional search engines rely heavily on how often a word appears on a web page. We use more than 200 signals, including our patented PageRank algorithm, to examine the entire link structure of the web and determine which pages are most important.
Who created PageRank? Larry Page. Who's Larry Page? Co-founder of Google. You mean there's 200 signals? Yes. Jason, wait a second. So what happens if I don't know what those 200 signals are? I mean, what if... okay, let's try it this way. What if I said to you, Jason, there are 200 criteria which I use to determine if I'm going to hire you.
Yeah.
But you don't know what they are. And one of them is always wearing a red shirt. Let's just say that was just for a random example. And you show up to the job interview without wearing the red shirt. Why can't you get the job?
Because I wasn't wearing a red shirt. I didn't meet part of your criteria.
Right. But think about this for a second. Does anybody know that you should wear a red shirt?
Not inherently.
Right. So you have to know these 200s. You got to know it. Which is why you should download the book today for free. Search Engine Domination. Get that beast on Amazon. Right now, I talked to a guy yesterday who attended one of our conferences, and guess where he was?
Where?
Argentina.
Ooh.
And guess what he was doing in Argentina?
What was he doing?
He was teaching a man how search engines work. I guess he bought some of the books and was going down there
Oh, that's awesome.
to teach the people in Argentina how the internet works, because I guess there's nobody down there who knows how it works either. So if you are stuck with your business and you're not in Argentina, or if you are, give us a call. We want to help you. Download the book for free. Jason, continue.
We then conduct hypertext matching as most important. We then conduct hypertext matching analysis to determine which pages are relevant to the specific search being conducted. By combining overall importance and query-specific relevance, we are able to put the most relevant and reliable results first.
Wait a minute. We put the most what first?
We put the most relevant and reliable results first.
Did you say that you put the most relevant and reliable what?
Sources first.
Come on now, baby. Now, relevant is determined by the freshness. Whoever has the most content, babies, the words related to the subject, so you cannot stop. Can't stop, won't stop, P. Diddy, in quotations.
Bad boys for life.
We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere, because we bad boys for life. Okay, continue.
Organic Search 101. Most of the people on the planet who choose to use search engines to find the products, services, and solutions that they are looking for are not inclined to sift through pages and pages of search engine results to find the result that they believe to be the best. In fact, most users refuse to ever even consider the search results found on page 2 of most Google search engine results.
Now, if you are on page 2, it is long overdue for you to move to page 1. If you have a dead body, not a real dead body, like you have bad news, put that on page 2, baby. You want good news on page 1. Bad stuff, page 2. Good stuff, page 1. Stuff you're trying to hide. Jason, when was the last time you went to page 2? Do you go to page 2 a lot?
The last time I went to page 2 was like in the early development of a coaching client site, just to see where they were ranking.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're like my personal searches. I hardly go past the map.
For my Matthew Slater show that I'm going to be recording this weekend, where I explain to you how a member of the New England Patriots is the captain of the team. He's been to 7 Pro Bowls. He's been on the team for 13 years. And he's a receiver, and he's only caught 1 pass. So I'm going to have that show coming out soon. But I went to like page 2, 3, 4, 5 to really find that good stuff, that hard-to-find stuff. But if you have something that you want people to find, you got to go to page 1. And by the way, your Bad Boy for Life it makes me want to play this following sound clip. So I'm going to cue this up real quick. We'll do kind of a Bad Boy for Life, kind of a brief mental timeout here, and then we'll come back. Let me get it queued up here. This is okay. Let me hit play here.
Live, local, and now broadcasting from the center of the universe.
Oh, yeah.
And the Thrive15.com world headquarters. It's the Thrivetime Show.
We're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody! Come on, Snoop and Luke.
And we're back. Okay, Jason, please continue.
In years past, on other search engines, you could just pay to have your website ranked higher on search engine results. But Google decided to change everything and create the absolute best search engine results possible for users when they decided to not allow businesses to pay to play as it relates to dominating organic search engine results, although you can buy advertisements using AdWords. Google's founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, leveled the playing field for people like us that did not grow up with silver spoons in our mouths when they decided to fill the majority of their search engine results with non-paid search engine results and content.
I'm sorry. What did you just say? Repeat. Just go back. I'm a dyslexic man. I struggle sometimes with reading. I have to hear it again. Can you just repeat the last 2 lines, please?
Yeah. Google's founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin leveled the playing field for people like us that did not grow up with silver spoons in our mouths.
Whoa!
I know what you're doing.
Wait a second. Here we go. The Thrivers want to hear this song. Here we are, face to face, a couple of silver spoons. Come on, Thrive Nation. Here we go. I'm cranking it up. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on now. Come on, Thrive Nation. You know, I have a drum. You got me drumsticks and they're right there on the table. Let me get my cowbell. The time each day. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go, Thrive Nation. Here we go. This is what you want. Oh, check this move out. Double time. Ricky Schroeder, Silver Spoons. The best show of all, really in American history, some have said, is Silver Spoons. Now, I'm not going to put words in the Thrive Nation's mouth, but I can tell you there are many Thrivers out there all across the nation and other planets, other planetary systems who are right now rejoicing that the word Silver Spoons was said in the book. But please continue reading.
So for those of us that weren't born with silver spoons in our mouths, when they decided to fill the majority of their search engine results with non-paid search engine results and content that was created by diligent people who are actually willing to invest the time needed to create Google-compliant websites and content.
Now, why don't we do this? Why don't we, for a second, kind of mentally dog you? I think we have to sell that book at the conference. I think we have a book to sell. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's one of the books we're giving away. So I cannot dog you the page, but mentally dog you that page. And flip and just find a testimonial in that book.
Page 34.
Find a testimonial in that book from a real client that we've really worked with. Maybe a picture of them, and tell us the name of their company, the name of their websites. The Thrivers out there can verify, and then read a notable quotable to us.
Ooh, so we have a success story from our pal, Dr. Brett Kasbaum.
I love Dr. Brett Kasbaum.
He's the man.
Yeah.
So his notable quotable: when we started, if you put my name in exactly spelled correctly, you might have found me on 20 pages back. So we started from scratch, and now we're climbing the Google search engine each day. That's a nice new thing. People come in and are like, "Hey, I saw you online." Literally, from a year and a half ago to now, we're up double.
I know what, because he couldn't be here today, is it fair if I queue up another testimonial from a guy? This is a guy named Joe Burby. It's Back to Basics Building. Big shout out to Back to Basics Building. I love that BBB. Back to Basics Building here. Joe Burby. Let me queue up. This is Joe Gerby here.
My name is Joe. My company is Back to Basics Builders.
Everybody, stop for a second. Stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin your page 2 status. Google this guy, please. Let me cue it up again. This is the remix. Listen to this. Here we go.
My name is Joe. My company is Back to Basics Builders.
Look him up real quick, Thrivers. Come on. You're all paranoid. You don't believe me. I don't believe you. I don't believe myself. Thrivers, none of us can trust each other, right? Because we're conspiracy theorists. So look him up real quick. I'm gonna cue up. Don't make me play it 4 times. Let me play it again here. Here we go.
My name is Joe. My company is Back to Basics Builders.
Perfect. And Joe, how has being top in Google impacted your life and business?
Well, we have pretty much consistently getting between 4 and 6 leads every week, and it just looks completely different from last year. Last year we would go weeks upon weeks without putting a deposit into our bank, and that's just not the case anymore. Every week I'm visiting the bank with more money.
What?
Boom. Okay.
Okay.
So then, how long did it take you, Joe, once you started in on the Google game? How long did it take before you started seeing results?
NFL player? How long?
We started seeing really positive results after about 3 months of working with them.
Because Google is looking for the consistency and the freshness. You can't be top because of a one-time event. People out there pushing Botox, people out there dentistry, people out there selling anything online. You're trying to sell something: cabinets, upholstery, dentistry, photography, videography, outdoor kitchens, outdoor living, pools, everybody. You've got to understand how people selling houses, people selling Keystone Harbor. They sell...
Hey, this is Dustin Huff. I'm with Keystone Harbor Marina. We joined Thrive back in January and have been working with these guys for about 7 months. During that time period, we have moved up our Google rank through reviews and SEO processes that we've compiled through these guys. Our leads have gone from about 4 weeks to now 100.
Thrivers, I know that some of you out there are doubting that it works, so you have to just go right now to KeystoneHarbor.com. What do they sell over there? Like boat rentals?
Yeah, they do boat rentals, jet ski rentals. They've got Airstream cabins. Lots of cool stuff.
But it's like, but my industry is different.
So?
It's different. People don't use Google to find me because I'm a hand surgeon.
Yeah, well, people use Google for everything.
Oh, Shunda, let me hit play. Let me keep playing. This is Dustin Huff talking to you.
65 a week. So the process
No.
to now, these guys.
Here we go.
Our leads have gone from about 4 week to now 165 a week.
I don't know.
Leads have gone from about 4 week to now 165 a week.
I don't know.
Leads have gone from about 4 week to now 160. Leads have gone from about 4 week to now 165.
I don't know. Maybe somebody out there says this is not impressive to me. This is easy. This is too easy. This is too money comes to me too easily, and I just listen to this show for the heck of it. I don't actually want to benefit from the stuff. But I choose to believe our listeners are a different breed, Jason. They want to have success. Let's go back to the book. Let's go back to page. What page are we on? 34.
On page 34. Yes.
Okay, continue reading, my friend.
Design 101.
Okay.
You must obsess over the concept that your website only exists to provide solutions for your ideal and likely buyers, and to help you make a profit as a result of providing those solutions to your ideal and likely buyers. Many business owners spend every dime that they have on creating a visually incredible website that no one can ever find because it does not follow Google's search engine compliance rules.
Repeat that last line. Most people what?
Many business owners spend every dime that they have on creating a visually incredible website that no one can ever find because it does not follow Google's search engine compliance rules.
But Dustin Huff with Keystone Harbor here, he says, let me try this. I got to balance it out. It's going to be tough to do this on the fly. Let me see if I can do it here. Let's see what we got here. Let's try it.
So
You got to pull this down.
So the process works.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we start week. So the process works. So the process works. So we process works. So we started back a couple process works. So we started back a couple of years ago and began the process and went for about 6 months and then stopped. For about 6 months and then stopped. For about 6 months and then stopped. I will tell you from experience, once you begin, you have to stay with it. Once you begin, you have to stay with it. Once you begin, you have to stay with it. Once you begin, you have to stay with it. As long as you continually do this week in and week out, month in and month out, you'll continually grow. You'll continually grow month out. You'll continually grow out. You'll continually grow your reviews, and you'll in and week out, month in and month out. You'll continually grow your reviews, and you'll also continually grow your revenues. So it's important to stay with this, so grow your revenues. So this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I would say stay with it. Google reviews are paramount, and content is king. So as long as you stick with it, your revenue will grow, and your business will grow. Thanks.
Oh, that was sick. Dustin Huff, the mega mix right there. That's sick, dude. That guy, he's sick. That guy is sick. Have we checked him for swine flu?
We need to. Dustin's the man.
He is the man. Continue, my friend.
Clay has personally employed and fired well over a dozen web developers. Wow, getting right back into it. Web developers who refuse to grasp this concept because of their fascination and preoccupation with building websites that were visually incredible and virtually undiscoverable by search engines. The Google Domination Equation. All right, so for all of our math fans, proper Google website architecture must follow Google's canonical rules, plus proper Google mobile compliance, plus reviews, plus most relevant original content, plus most high-quality backlinks equals top of Google search engine results.
Okay. So repeat that again to the equation. Someone out there is trying to take notes on this. They're trying to write this down. So repeat it one more time.
So the Google Domination Equation is as follows. Okay. Proper Google website architecture plus proper Google mobile compliance.
Proper what now? Proper Google architecture?
Proper Google website architecture.
Proper Google website architecture. Okay. Plus what?
Plus proper Google mobile compliance.
Plus proper Google mobile compliance. Got it. Okay.
Plus reviews.
Plus reviews. Got it.
Plus most relevant original content.
Most original, relevant HTML content. Okay.
Plus most high quality backlinks.
Most high quality backlinks. Got it.
And that equals your top of Google search engine results.
Top of Google search engine results. There it is. Okay, I got it. So it's proper Google website architecture plus proper Google mobile compliance plus reviews plus original, relevant HTML content plus most high-quality backlinks equals top of Google's search engine results. Now,
Correct.
We're going to stop reading right there, and then I'm going to say, all this works, but you can't get reviews if your product's terrible. And so we have a Thriver that just emailed us right now. I'm going to pull this up here.
Ooh.
This just comes in from we'll just say a doctor. He writes, if you use this, paraphrase it, anonymize it, and fancy it up. But feel free to use because this could be a really good Ask Clay anything. Well, I think it ties into search engines because if you're top of Google but your product sucks, I mean, it's not going to work. I have a self-destructive competitor that just opened up a clinic in the city where I operate and provide surgery, where he's doing cataract surgery with no anesthesia.
Whoa.
Crazy. Look at this email. This is crazy. Crazy. He has just one referral source in the city, the guy at this ghetto Walmart who sends him about 75 to 100 cases a year, enough to generate 50 to 75,000 a year. And this is not the patient population who would do well without anesthesia. Did I mention his anesthesia-free cataract or is in a shopping mall a couple of stores downtown from the... Anyway, this has a low likelihood of success. His only two routes for success are to attract clients outside his referral source through either direct-to-consumer advertising, like LASIK ads, or if he poaches my Dream 100. It took me 4.5 years to build loyalty among this group. I've done the majority of their patients' eyes. I take them all out to dinner once a month, and I bring them donuts and candy each week. Anyway, I'm paranoid and really nervous about this guy because his success could be an existential threat if everything went wrong. How do you monitor competitors and threats early in their development? And how do you systemize mystery shopping, new competition threats? Weekly, monthly? When do you measure like you would measure ad spend on the ad tracker? Okay. So Jason, does that question make sense to you?
It does.
All right. So let's do Mystery Shopping 101, and I'll take some notes here for you. Jason, please explain why we have mystery shoppers that come into the elephant in the room.
Oh, it's got to make sure that we are doing everything that we need to, or it's always good to have like a fresh pair of eyes because like we use our...
Ooh, I see what you're doing. You're tying into the whole eye thing.
We have to get back into that because that competitor, I have questions. But for your secret shoppers, which is great, was I've met a lot of them over the years, and I still don't know who probably 95% of them actually are, which is good. But it helps us. It's like your second pair of eyes in the store because like management and leads and everything, it's our job to make sure we're executing. But we'll get used to following those checklists off a cliff that we may miss something in the background. So like somebody's attitude or the music volume or somebody weird up front. And so those guys kind of keep us on our toes and let you know exactly, hey, as a customer, this is what I'm experiencing. That way you get feedback from us and you get feedback from them. And it's not just trusting one source.
We all intuitively know this, but W. Edwards Deming, he's the very acclaimed, very successful economist, business consultant during his time. We all know what he says is true, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. He says, profit in business comes from repeat customers. Customers that boast about your project or service, and that brings friends with them. Let me repeat it again. Profit in business comes from repeat customers that boast about your project or service, and that bring friends with them. That's what brings profit. I think we know that, right? We repeat customers.
Yeah.
So step one, I would recommend that everybody listening out there would have a mystery shopper in your business every day. Someone should write that down. Every day. I believe every day. Now, if you can't afford it or it's not practical or whatever it looks like, at least weekly. Somebody needs to be calling your phones that's not you and seeing what happens.
True.
Someone needs to come into your store who's not you and give you objective feedback. And you should pay them. And great companies like Southwest Airlines, Disney World, Quick Trip, they all have mystery shoppers. Why don't you? I know you, the listener, have one, but you know your friends. People, not you, the listener, it's other people. So 1, mystery shopping 101. You want to mystery shop yourself weekly, preferably daily. 2, you need to mystery shop your competition daily, preferably. But if not, weekly.
Mm-hmm.
So important. Why do I have people mystery shop my competition, Jason?
So you can see if, one, you want to make sure that we're always offering a superior product, but it's always good to see what other people are doing because if you want to be the best, you have to find out what the best is doing and then do it better than them.
There it is.
But mystery shopping is super important. If I can give like a real world example, one of my clients I meet with Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Wednesday, one of his businesses, he was worried that the front desk wasn't tracking their leads properly.
Yep.
Because we're now going through the process, getting everything back in order. And he noticed that his numbers were in, but theirs weren't. So like, okay, well, how do we fix that? And he's like, well, I don't necessarily oversee that department. I was like, well, here's a quick thing you can do. You guys have a form you can fill out online, right? He goes, yeah. I said, I'm going to fill it out. So I filled it out, put my real fake name, but put my real phone number.
Your rap name.
And my real, it's Jerome. Because you can shorten it it's Jerome Romero, because you can, so it's J Romeo. It's awesome.
Nice.
Anyway, I put that in, and we waited, and it's been, 5 days? And I still have not got a call back from that lead.
Oh, boy. That's not good.
But he knows that now. Next time, it's like, hey, guys, if we're going on a week, and we're actually hurting for business right now, how come nobody's calling these people?
I want to make sure people get this, okay? W. Edwards Deming, he's an engineer, a statistician, a professor. His job as a statistician was to look at the stats. As a professor was to teach the stats. As an author was to write about the stats. Traveling around the world teaching what these things mean. He actually got hired by the U.S. government to help them. And the U.S. government, the U.S. Department of Census today still uses a lot of the systems he set up. But anyway, this guy had a ton of success. And he said, profit in business comes from repeat customers that boast about your project or service and that bring friends with them. That's W. Edwards Deming. So if you're out there today and you're looking for the action steps, what do I need to do as a result of this show? One, you probably need to get out to a workshop, because the workshop we're going to have this next Friday and Saturday. I don't know when this show comes out, but if you're going to have, I think this show right now is going to be released, I think, on December 13th. So we're way ahead.
Oh, yeah.
But I would recommend that you would book your tickets today to attend an in-person Thrivetime show workshop. And the tickets are $250. Get them there. Boom. Because you can ask questions. And how often it seems like I would... Jason, how often do the people who attend the conferences have questions? I mean, is it like everybody?
I've been to every conference since December, and there's not been a lack of questions. Every time, like, you'll be in the middle of one of your sections, and somebody will immediately raise their hand. And what's funny is you will break whatever dialogue you have and be like, sir, in the back, you had a question about search engines. I was like, yeah. And every single time you have the whiteboards up, and you don't leave Friday or Saturday until all those questions are answered. So it's super helpful.
We'll stick around. I mean, we'll stay late if we need to. I mean, you're not going to leave without the answers to your questions. And that is so important for you to know that. It's not a conference where we're walking on hot coals. We do have a lot of fun, but we're not walking on hot coals and bouncing volleyballs around talking about our purpose. Our conference is for people who have found their purpose and just want to know the specific steps they need to take to make more money and more time freedom. And if that's you, get your tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Now, if you want to get a good deal on those tickets, if you want to save some money on those, all you got to do is subscribe to the Thrivetime Show podcast right now on iTunes or your favorite source, maybe it's Spotify for you, maybe iHeartRadio, and then just leave us an objective review and screenshot that review and email it into info@thrivetimeshow.com. Email a screenshot of the review to info@thrivetimeshow.com. If you can't figure that out, you're not a bad person. You can leave a review on our Google map, whatever you want to do. Then send us a screenshot of that review. Send it to info@thrivetimeshow.com, and we'll make your tickets available for, right now, they're only $37. So instead of $250, it's $37. And we charge you $37 because, Jason, we serve food both days.
We do.
And we provide workbooks, a lot of handouts. Can you describe the food that our listeners would experience on both days?
Oh, man. So shout out to my dinner from last night, actually.
Oh.
One day we'll do Andolini, so all their awesome local pizza and salads. Can't go wrong there.
Like coal-fired pizza or something. It's a great pizza stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
All right, and then we have Los Cabos.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Hood's favorite.
Yeah, the Mexican restaurant. They provide food there, and so it's a great place to meet other entrepreneurs. I'd say the average net worth of our attendees is over $1 million. Many multi-millionaires are there. The owners of very successful companies. A great place to meet people. Wes Carter, the attorney of choice, his law firm represents T.D. Jakes, Pastor Craig Rochelle, Joyce Meyer. We've got one of the largest home builders in the country who speaks regularly. We've got Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, Prince.
He was awesome.
Michael Jackson, he'll be attending in December. There's so many things to see and do. Book your tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. My name's Clay Clark. That is Jason Beasley, and we're going to wrap up today's show as we always do with a boom. So without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Thomas Crossan, owner and founder of Full Package Media in Dallas, Texas. I've been a coaching client with Clay Clark since the beginning of our business. We started about a year ago, August of last year. I had no clients, no idea what we were doing, no clue really what was going on. And now we've grown to where we've got 6 photographers, we've got office space here. I have an admin, sales person that works for us full time. Developing an online system, and a lot of that growth we attribute to Clay helping us. And there's so many things that, his stuff is not revolutionary. It's not this crazy walk on hot coals and all this stuff. It's just real stuff. And like group interviews, we were totally against group interviews. We were like, no, we're different and we're special, and we need to do one-on-one interviews so we can find good quality candidates and not just kind of do this group interview thing. And we tried that and we failed miserably. We did group interviews. Now we do them every 2 weeks, and it's awesome. It works good. We always have kind of an influx of new people that we can train, get going. He's helped us a lot with our website, graphic design, SEO. SEO is another thing that I thought before I started this business and before Clay it was kind of a joke, or something that only your Apples of the world and Amazon could get to the top of Google. But Clay said, no, just do these things, follow these steps, and you'll get there. And I think now we look today and we're number 2 for Dallas real estate photography. If you don't believe me, you can look. So we're getting to the top of there. That's really cool. It's really awesome to get leads that people will call you and say, hey, I found you on Google. We want to hear about your services. So that's really great. I'd say there's nobody out there that's not a good coaching client for Clay. Anyone, regardless of the business, it's not about what the business is, what the specialty is. It's about following the steps, doing what he says. It's a good thing. An hour a week, it gets you on track and keeps you kind of in line of what you're doing and what you shouldn't be doing. And it's good to kind of give you some flow and future goals of your business. And I remember our first meeting, we set our goals, and our goal was to do 16 shoots a week. And at the time, me and my business partner / girlfriend Gretchen were like, oh, we're never going to do 16 a week. That's just like crazy. And today we're doing 9, and we did about 54 last week. So he's helped us grow. We've put in a lot of hours, a lot of hard work as well. But if you follow his steps and do what he says, there's a lot of principles that he's kind of taught and instilled in us that help us. So Clay Clark is the way to go. I wouldn't venture out to find someone else. They'd be more expensive and a lot more fluff and no real actionable work and things to get your business growing. So that's the way to go. Thanks.
Well, I've had phenomenal growth, Clay. I had no business experience. I had years in education. I knew how to teach kids to read, but I'd never started my own business before. So I was at zero, walking the local neighborhood, putting pamphlets in people's letterbox, getting nowhere. And then I got a Christmas present to come to your conference. So that was the start of everything. I signed up straight away, and I now have so many students. I don't know what to do with them all. And I'm hiring and training 5 new tutors to help me teach kids to read.
Ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, we have an incredible story, and I'm going to start off by telling you this is a wonderful woman that is passionate about helping your kids to read. And I met her through, I believe, a conference of some kind, and she's having tremendous growth. So, Margaret, before we get going, tell us, what is your web address where our listeners can go to if they have children in their life or kids in their life who maybe need help with becoming a more efficient reader?
It's getreading.us.
Getreading.us. And since we met you, how much growth have you had since we met you and you became a business coaching client? How much growth have you had at getreading.us?
Well, I've had phenomenal growth, Clay. I had no business experience. I had years in education. I knew how to teach kids to read, but I'd never started my own business before. So I was at zero, walking the local neighborhood, putting pamphlets in people's letterbox, getting nowhere. And then I got a Christmas present to come to your conference. So that was the start of everything. I signed up straight away, and I now have so many students. I don't know what to do with them all. And I'm hiring and training 5 new tutors to help me teach kids to read.
So somebody bought you a ticket to one of our in-person Thrivetime show workshops as a Christmas present. Is that right?
That's correct. I actually bought myself a ticket, and then my family had to pitch in and buy me a ticket at a hotel.
Oh, well, let's put some meat on the bone here. And for anybody who wants to know about those workshops, again, folks, you can go to thrivetimeshow.com, thrivetimeshow.com. I'm not sure when you'll see this testimonial video, but our next upcoming workshop features the legendary best-selling author Robert Kiyosaki, Eric Trump, President Trump's son, and a cast of wonderful entrepreneurial characters. You're going to love it, folks. That's March 6th and 7th. And again, if you're out there and you have a child that's needing to improve their reading skills, go to getreading.us. So let's kind of unpack the things that we've done together. First off, we helped you build a website. Can you talk about the process? Did we build it for you? Did you build it yourself? Tell the listeners out there how that process came together of building that website.
You guys did it completely. I wrote 1,000 words on 1,000 different topics, and I had some photos, but I had a lot of guidance. I just handed it all over to you guys, and you created this. It's the best website I've got in Scottsdale. People keep telling me mine stands out from the crowd.
Now, are you generating leads from the website? A lot of people are listening to this show. They're watching right now, and they're going, I'm a doctor, I'm a dentist, I'm a lawyer, I'm a photographer, I'm a petting zoo, and I don't know how to generate leads. I mean, I'm not kidding. I literally talked to a person this weekend who owns a petting zoo who got into a conversation with one of our clients who has a mortgage company, and they said, how do you generate leads? Do you actually generate leads? Are you generating leads from your website?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. I'm getting 3 or 4 leads a week, people ringing me, and I've been trained in how to answer as quickly as possible and the quick way to get to the point and sign them up. And I've got about a 95% strike rate with those leads. So that's awesome.
Now, for people out there that say, I've never been self-employed before, I've never started my own company, or maybe a lot of our listeners have owned a business for years, how would you describe the overall coaching experience for anybody out there that's thinking about scheduling a free 13-point assessment? There's somebody watching right now, and they're...
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Okay, Aaron Antis, March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, guess who's coming to Tulsa, Jerusalem?
Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, that's March 6th and 7th. You're going to be joined by Robert Kiyosaki. Best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, probably the best-selling, or one of the best-selling business authors of all time. And he's going to be joined with Eric Trump. He'll be joined by Eric Trump. So we got Eric Trump and Robert Kiyosaki in the same place. Aaron, why should everybody show up to hear Robert Kiyosaki?
Well, you got billions of dollars of business experience between those two, not to mention many, many, many millions of books have been sold. Many, many millionaires have been made from the books that have been sold by Robert Kiyosaki. I happen to be one of them. I learned from the man. He was the inspiration. That book was the inspiration for me to get the entrepreneurial spirit, as many other people.
Now, since you won't brag on yourself, I will. You've sold billions of dollars of houses, am I correct?
That is true.
And the book that kickstarted it all for you
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the author, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that kickstarted your career.
Yeah.
He's going to be here.
He's going to be here. I'm pumped.
And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States and soon to be the 47th president of these United States, he needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint.
Right.
I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second. Would you buy a ticket just to see Robert Kiyosaki and Eric Trump? Of course you would.
Of course you would.
But we're also going to be joined by Sean Baker. This is the best-selling author, the guy who invented the carnivore diet.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Sean Baker. He's been on Joe Rogan multiple times. He's going to be joining us. So you've got Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Eric Trump, Sean Baker. The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had 419 people that were here. 419 people.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what? We should probably add on. So we're adding on what we call the upper deck, or the top shelf. So the seats are very close to the presenters, but we're actually building right now. We're adding on to the facility to make room to accommodate about another 30 attendees or more. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences. And so to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis.
Sure.
There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. There's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and
I should do that. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business.
It's tough.
But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. And then you add to that Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You add to that Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You add to that Sean Baker. Now you might take, but Clay, is there more? I need more. Well, okay, Tom Wheelwright is the wealth strategist for Robert Kiyosaki. So people say, Robert Kiyosaki, who's his financial wealth advisor? Who's the guy who manages, who's his wealth strategist? His wealth strategist Tom Wheelwright will be here. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And Jill Donovan, our good friend, who is the founder of Rustic Cuff. She started that company in her home, and now she sells millions of dollars of apparel and products. That's rusticcuff.com. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma, and nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns what do you call that? The rental,
storage space.
Storage units. This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the day here is March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, we just got confirmation. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he'll be here. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump Organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you, this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Now, don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life-changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right, really. So if you're looking to have life-changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you, it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.